Hello everyone. So in this lesson we are going to look at animations. So in our previous session we have seen transitions and we've also seen in the slideshow view how these transitions are visible. Now today let's look at how do we animate and make each slide of the presentation more engaging. So let's look at this slide. Okay. So now if I play this slide from here, all of this slide comes at the same time, right? So what I'm going to do first, I'll select the transitions and then I'll just remove the automatic mouse movements and just switch it to on click. Now I have done this. If I Let's do the slideshow. So in the slideshow, okay, it is not now moving to the next slide because we have clicked on mouse click only. So how do we animate this slide? How do we make the slide more engaging, right? So that is where this particular section of animation comes handy. If I open this and select any part of the presentation, you can see, similar to transitions, a lot of options open up. Like for example, if I click this, it will show one type of animation for everything. New sort of animation comes, right? So now you can also choose from a set of animations. Like, how did we have in transitions, we also have subtle animations which are good for copyright. We also have very exciting animations which, based upon the audience, you can change, right? And how the presentation is being, and based upon sometimes the topic of the presentation also, right? Now let's see what we can do with these animations, right? So let's try understanding all the animations, type of animations here, right? So you can see these animations are there being applied to text. Now let's check if we're able to apply the animation to the image here that is there, right? So these do not feel authentic, but now if you see this, this feels good, right? So based upon the image you might see that some animations look good, right? This also seems very natural, right? So let's say this is what we call an entry animation. Now in animations, the most important thing is, for better animation control, you also have an animation panel, right? So how do you check this? You go here in the animation pane. Now you can see this was the animation for the text before and after, and you can play from here. And next one was this. If you want to change anything, you can right click here itself and remove that animation. Now if you play, the animation will play for just the image, right? So now you can see this animation has a few options, like effect options. Is there a sound for this effect? Is there a specific timing that you want this effect to come in? Or are there any specific triggers for this particular animation to play, right? So now what we'll also try to see is different types of animations. Now you see these animation, whatever we have clicked is called an entry animation. Now we have something called exit animations. Now if you click here, this is when you want something to seem that it is gone away from the presentation, right? So now this was an exit animation, and let's say now this is an entry animation. Okay, so now I'm going to play this. Okay, so if I click this, this is exit and this is entry, right? So now if you see this particular animations, these happened on my mouse click or the keyboard. Now let's say if you want them to be automatic, so what you can do is, on the second animation you can click here and just say start. Instead of on click, you just say with previous or after previous. So when you say with previous, both will happen at once. And if I click, this is going and this is coming up, right? Sometimes you just want to have this started after one is gone. So let me go ahead and play this. Now once I click, this is gone and this starts, right? So now this way what happens is you can make your presentation more engaging and use, because with exits you can also use the same slide to show multiple things. Like for example, this was beginning and then this was next, right? So just to give it a little bit more appeal, what I can do is I can put both of them like this. Okay, and now I'm just going to play this, right? First there is an image, and when you click, this is going and the next one comes up, right? So now you can see how you can play with these animations, right? You can do different type of animations and use your creativity to just engage the slide, you engage the audience in the slide, right? So now you have exit animations and the entry animations, and you have also a few more animations here like this. Let me go ahead and play this. I click exit, then the entry, and then on click you'll see there was a subtle border that came in, right? So these are like a few highlights that you want to create, right? And which is the line color option, right? And you can see these are more like highlight options where you just want to specify a specific segment within your slide. Okay, now what we will do is we'll also see one different type of animation, which is the path animation, right? So now I'm just going to go to my animation pane and remove the latest one. I click on delete option, right? And now come back here. What I can do is something called path animation. So path animation means if I select this, it will say one to draw curve. I can just click here and then say I'm just going to just make a curve like this. You just have to click somewhere to move, right? Okay, and then I choose to double click it, and this is what actually happens, right? And if you want to change it, the path, you can change it also, right? Or if you want to redo it, you can delete it and redo it. Click path animation, draw curve, right? So I'm just going to do it from the center, go to the top, then come back to the center. Okay, and then double click. Okay, now let's try doing this again. First what will happen is exit will happen, then entry will happen, then the path animation will play. Let's see how it goes and how we can change it. On click, exit, entry, and again on click, you will see there is a small animation that got played, right? So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to not have the exit directly. Let's play. This came in. Now this happened, right? So first what happened is the entry animation of this played, and then the line color option played. So this is also not useful. I'm just going to remove it. There was only a borderline that is coming. Now I'm just going to entry animation and then your path animation, right? So now what I'm going to do is first I would want the path animation to come, and after the path animation I would want this to exit. Okay, okay, so it got exited, right? So first path animation and then the next ones. So let's try playing this. Okay, okay, this came the entry. Now I'm just going to move it further. This is the path animation. Okay, I'm playing it. First the path animation comes, then I click, then it exits, then a new thing comes, right? So this is something that you will also be able to do based on a little experiments and reordering your animations, right? So let's say you do not want something to exit, right? So you can remove it, okay, and you can redo it. That's what, right? So these are the different types of animation, path animation. But now, in corporate or in general, we don't use so many animations. We just keep them simple, like these entry and exit ones. Okay. Now, I want to delete all of these. And if I play, no animation happens. Right? So, most of the times, you don't even have to do an exit. So, you can select both of them, then go select one animation to select for everything. And I'm going to play this. First, you're talking about the before. When you click, both of them come at once, right? So let's say because the second one was set to come with previous. Now, if you make it on click and I play it again, and on first click, only one will come because second was set to trigger after click. Now you can see both of them are visible, right? So let's look at a text, right? So now I'm going to select all these, this particular one. I'm just going to say let it fly in, and then here I'm just going to say something like, yeah, random bus, right? Now if I play this, first click, fly in, random bars 1 2 3 4. So now what actually happened is, in this line, because everything was a new line, everything got created as a sub animation, right? Later, if you want to change anything, you can actually change it from here itself. Okay, for something you want a different animation, you can change the animation for that, right? And if you're able to play this, you will see the animation for that alone has changed, right? So you can do a lot of other changes also directly from here, right? If at all you want to change it a little, you can do that. Now earlier, left upwards, left downwards was coming from the top till here. Now left upwards and play, it's going this way, right? So a few changes for every animation you can always do, right? So this way you can animate your whole slide in just 1 or 2 clicks, right? Now let's look at the effects option here, right? So if I click here, now you can see a few things that you want to change. Let's say if all of these are on click, now you want this to be with previous, you can go ahead, click on with previous, right? But if you have three and you want all of them to be with previous, you click as with previous, select all and do with previous. Now if you play it, this is on click and rest everything came at once, right? So this is about animations pane, and how to do multiple animations at once and different type of animations, right? So now let's try to do finally one to animate this. How do you in general animate? So when you open a slide, you will see this is how you are presenting, right? So you come with the sequence of how you're presenting. Let's say our numbers will be first heading that you want, then you want the subheading, then you want the image, right? And then you want quarter one, quarter two, quarter one, and quarter three, and quarter four. Okay, these are like pre-edited ones. Now, if you click on any specific animation in the same order, all of these are getting added here, right? And here, instead of start with previous, I'm just going to click on click. I am going to play this. Now this is the next slide that came in while presenting, and then I say our numbers, the next point, then the image, and then all the points at one by one, right? So this gives you many benefits. One of the benefits is if you present the whole slide at once, the readers would read everything and would think that they're not focused maybe, or the attention is not guided, right? But when you show what is only needed for them to know now, there you can use animations to control the attention and make a very effective presentation. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. In our next sessions, we'll look at more other features of PowerPoint. Thank you.